Have you ever wondered what it really takes to make Agile work? Well, at the Global Agile Summit, we're bringing you real-life, first-person stories of Agile succeeding out there in the real world that will inspire you to take action. Whether you're a leader, a product innovator, a developer, you'll hear practical insights from those who've done it. They'll be telling their own stories from the stage. I'll tell you more about this at the end of this episode, so stay back and listen to the full detailed description of what we have in store for you at the Global Agile Summit. But if you can't wait, you can go right now to globalagilesummit.com and check out our full schedule. For now, on to the episode, but I'll see you at the end of this episode with more details on the Global Agile Summit. Talk to you soon. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our Wednesday, the Change Leadership episode, this week with Karen Suarez. Hey, Karen, welcome back.
Thank you, Vasco. Thank you.
So, of course, Wednesday is when we talk about change, which is a big part of our work as Scrum Master. So tell us a story of a change process you were involved with, Karen, and walk us through the process, like from beginning to end. How did it unfold? And as you go through that, highlight for us the tools, the tips, the tricks, and the techniques you learned back then that you still apply today.
Okay, so I must say I haven't been in a huge transformation. I like to start to trigger the beginning of a transformation, the need to do things differently. So this was experience I have 4 years ago. I was the first Scrum Master for the company. It was a role that nobody really knew inside the company. So I joined that team in a department where there was no managers. There were some time back, but lately they decided they don't need a manager. So they get rid of every manager on the department. And so I started working with the team because they needed to work on some things inside the team. But it came to a point where they had the autonomy they were going to be able to get from inside. They needed to change. There were stuff that needed to change outside of the team. So,
can you give an example? So if I understand you correctly, the team was already quite independent and self-driven as there were no managers. But you say there were things outside the team that needed to be changed. What were some of those things?
For example, the cycle time was really, really long because the team was composed only by developers, coding developers. The QA engineers were in another department. The business, which were the product, there was no product owner, but the product people were in another department. The people who deployed live the product were in another department. So it take almost 6 weeks at least. It was the really minimum to get the product from we finish an item done and we put it in production. We put it in the user's hands. The minimum was really 6 weeks. So it came for something that we were able to develop in, let's say, 2 hours. To wait for 6 weeks was too long. So the first thing I started was working with managers in the other departments, working with people with more experience than I had working with people, conflict, solving conflicts, deciding which is the path of career in order to work on motivation of the team members. So I started working with other people in other departments. I got close with one person from the product department, and then he later became the product owner. So that was one first step in these changes, formalizing the product owner role, because this person was really driven. It was bringing us on the right path with the team and the right direction with the product. But he was having a whole bunch of responsibilities, different responsibilities. So formalizing this role allowed us to having him.
How did that happen? Because I'm imagining it can't be that easy since this person was in another department and the department where you were had no management structure. So there were no managers. How did you navigate this? Because it can't be very easy to kind of like, hey, we need you over here, right? Like, how did that happen?
At first, it became organic to work with this person, and he was really interested on this product. He was mastering the techniques because it was a cloud solution, so it was really technical, and he mastered the whole topic. And the other department had a manager, so I work with the manager on the other side to bring in the facts and the data to show him the value this person was bringing to the team, to the product we were building. And he kind of, not blend, but he accepted to see what happened if he's focused on one single product. And he saw the value of doing that. It was a really good...
So it was kind of, you said organic, so I guess it was more like through conversations, inviting this person to come and work with the team for a few specific things. And since they understood the product and were interested in helping to define the product, then that kind of became a natural progression. Did I get it right?
Yes, that's it. That's the way it happened. And he really liked the technical part of the product, and he was really good at it. So for him was the thing he wanted to do, the thing he was good at, and the team was receiving his help really in a really good way. They were welcoming this help because we were lost before that. We were working in a backlog with no sense. And for the manager of this person, yes, he had to stop doing some other stuff, and the manager make a prioritization on the topics he was working on. And once he saw the value on the product we were developing together, he said, okay, let's do it as a trial, and then it stayed that way. So we got a win with the product owner. Then in parallel, I was working with the QA engineers. We didn't start to put in the role inside the team, but the communication was really regular. We were talking, the team members were talking with the QA engineers during the whole day, during the daily Scrum.
So you invited the QA engineers to the daily with the team.
It was the first exchange, yes, to having them on a daily basis, and then it became during the day. Hey, I have a question on this. This is ready. Can I send it to you? Can you test it right now? We were working with the QA engineers, not only in the testing part, but in the conception. So we were really involving the whole development team, developer skills on the conception and the building of the product. So it wasn't my second ex because they were working fine. Of course, it's better when they are part of the team and they don't have another manager asking for some other stuff, but it was working well enough for the moment. The thing that was the hardest, that was harming the most, was the team that were in charge of deploying the product, because they didn't trust at first the team I was working on with. They believe it was a team with few skills, with few. They couldn't trust anything. They were even scared of deploying something that it was going to break everything. So we started inviting them to for example, the review, letting them manipulate the product in the test environments. And then I started working with the manager to tell them, we are developing good stuff here. We have stakeholders waiting to manipulate the product. We are not getting the product to them because it takes 2 weeks still to do this deployment because the team is busy with other stuff. They don't yet trust enough to deploy it just like that in an easy way. So we started bringing team members from the development team to this other department to get better some skills to learn about this deployment, and that light the charge of this other team in charge of deployment, and it built trust. They started realizing these people are capable, they know what they're doing, they are interested on learning. So it got better, the relationship between these two. And I needed actually at that point a sponsor. And since I was the sole...
Wait. So before you go, so the involvement, I guess you could say, between the deployment team and the development team started to open up the communication, but it wasn't fully resolved, and that's why you needed a sponsor, right?
Yes, we went from 2 weeks or more to 1 week. But actually, this deployment team were only clicking on a button. But since the trust wasn't fully there, they weren't leaving this action to the development team. So I wanted to win this week because for a sprint of 2 weeks, having one more week just
Of
for
delay, yeah.
and just for clicking on a button because lack of trust, it was a topic I needed to work on. But it stayed kind of closed and the manager was really busy. So I realized we need a sponsor. I don't know if a manager, but we need someone who can help me with these people skills, which I need to improve. I'm still young on what I'm doing. So I realized I needed help. And we decided to have not a manager, but a facilitator, we call it, but someone experienced with people skills, who was in a position of making hard decisions and taking responsibility for this and teaching us how to deal with ourselves and with other departments. And it was the first drastic change to decide to have someone hierarchically upon us, because the team at some point they decided they don't need it, they don't want it, it's a constraint. And now the whole department became open to that idea. We call it facilitated, but in the end it was a manager, a good manager. We needed someone really good with people.
And where did you find that manager?
We started making interviews, recruiting. We started a recruiting process.
Okay.
And he came. We needed someone strong because we were like 70 people on the department, and most of them were really decided we don't need it. So bringing the facts, putting in transparency the difficulties we were having, and the skills we didn't have to solve them. So yeah, we got someone who was open-minded but really firm, and that's what we needed at that moment. So he started the process of bringing the departments closer, and that's when I decided, okay, the team is working in a good way all along, and now the dependencies we identify, they're going to be worked on, and this person came to do that. So I led the space and I went to another adventure.
That's very good. And it's interesting that you got to a point where not just you, of course, but the whole department realized, okay, for us to get to the next stage, we need somebody to step in and take the leadership role, right? And in that context, it made sense. So great, let's move into it, right? And sometimes that is part of the change process we are involved with. It is to get to a point where we understand that actually somebody else now needs to take over. Somebody else needs to kind of push this to the next step. And That may mean that we go on and find other things to do, or that might mean that we support this person in the things that need to be done. But it's a very important realization. So great story. Thank you for sharing that, Karen.
Thank you for letting me.
Hey, friend, thank you for staying. Here is all you need to know about the Global Agile Summit. If you've ever suffered or know people who are suffering from agile fatigue, this event is for you. Agile fatigue is that feeling that settles in when we can't really see a light at the end of the tunnel. We get discouraged, especially when conversations revolve around the same old frameworks, the same old buzzwords and theories. We don't feel that energy anymore. Well, the Global Agile Summit is a different kind of event. We're bringing you real-life first-person stories of Agile succeeding out there in the real world that will inspire you to take action and transform the way you work. The Global Agile Summit will happen in Tallinn, Estonia, May 18th, that's the workshop day, and then 19th and 20th, the conference day. And Tallinn, Estonia is one of the most innovative tech hubs in Europe. The Global Agile Summit is hosted together with Latitude 59, which is kind of a citywide celebration of software startups and groundbreaking ideas. And we'll have a shared ticket for you to attend those events as well. So who will be speaking? Well, we've got an incredible lineup of thought leaders in software and Agile. For example, Clinton Keith, the person who literally wrote the book on game development with Scrum, and is busy bringing Agile to the world of game development. You must check his session. The very famous and well-known Jürgen Apelo, author of Management 3.0, will be talking and exploring about AI's impact on leadership. We also have Gojko Adzic, who's taking an unconventional look at the product growth with his lizard optimization keynote. Other speakers include, for example, Sven Dietz, who's challenging everything we know about software development by literally ditching contracts and estimates. Can you imagine? His teams deliver software before their competitors are even done with the contract negotiation. How agile is that? But there's more. We'll cover engineering practices in our developer track with talks on, for example, AI-assisted test-driven development, developing products in minutes with a different approach to how we develop, configure, deploy platforms, and much more. We also have a product track where we cover cutting-edge ideas around product discovery, delighting customers with product delight frameworks. We'll have a talk about that. And we also have an agile business track where we will talk about, for example, open strategy, a very agile approach to managing organizations and delivering software faster to clients, faster than you can even write a contract, literally. I mean, I already told you about Sven Dietz's story. It's amazing. It definitely is a must-see. I'm sure you'll be inspired and get a lot of ideas for your own software projects and software delivery. Now, whether you're a business leader, a product innovator, or a developer, you'll definitely find value in our 3 focused tracks. That's Agile Business for those working with businesses and organizations, Agile Product for product managers, product owners, and innovators, and Agile Developer for the builders making Agile work in practice, the coders, the testers, the designers, the producers, the Scrum Masters, you name it. If you join, you will meet over 200 Agile professionals from all over the world. People who, just like you, want to grow, want to share, and want to learn by challenging the ideas that don't work anymore. At the Global Agile Summit, you'll get new connections, fresh ideas, and the energy to take your own Agile to the next level. And who knows, maybe even find your next career opportunity. So don't miss out. Check out the full program and grab your ticket now at globalagilesummit.com. I'm really looking forward to seeing you all in Tallinn, Estonia in May. I'll see you there.